So good evening, guys.
Good
Welcome
evening.
to the Copywriting Mastermind Day 4. So I know that this is sort of like day 5 or day 6, but then this is the day 4 we'll be having the class. So welcome. We started a couple of things copywriting, and I think so far we have gone farther than I actually expected. No, not farther than I expected, farther than like a lot of people that thought you would be able to go. That's because we started out with sorting out the most challenging part of copywriting first, so that we can begin to build up on the remaining parts and then get it perfected. So now today, since we've discussed the parts of copy, the different parts that we have in copy that you need to focus on, now we want to move on to like choosing like various parts and discussing them. The first part we'll be discussing is, so the one we'll be discussing for today is the headline and the sub-headline. The headline and the sub-headline. Now, most people say, and I also second it, that the headline is literally the most important part of your copy. It should take like about 80% of your time, because the thing is, we are in the digital world now, and in the digital world, our attention span is very short. We have a very, very short attention span. The average human being has currently now has an average an attention span of about 5 seconds, about 5 to 10 seconds. I don't think it's up to 10 seconds. So now, what does that mean? It means that if you can't catch the attention of somebody in just 5 seconds, you have lost that person. If you can't catch the attention of somebody in just 5 seconds, you have lost that person. Now, since this turns out to be like the major thing that will make people probably even first, before people can even be interested in what you have to say, before people can be interested in what you're saying, they need to first be interested in what you have to say. Does that make sense? So they can be interested in what you are saying, that means they are already listening. But then before they can be interested in listening to you, they need to be interested in what you even have to say to begin with, right? So which is the point where headline comes, because it is the first part that your audience will come in contact with. Now, let's say, for example, let's say what product should we use now? Somebody should, in what niche should we use what product should we use now? I want us to use a product in the health niche. So say one particular disease that you want us to use quickly.
Use malaria.
Okay. Now I want to teach you guys something. If you guys want a Google search to bring out a particular thing that you're looking for, you type that head word, that keyword, then you put plus drugs plus Nigeria. Meaning that I asked for malaria drugs in Nigeria. Plus seal. Sorry. Sales. Okay, beautiful. Now, currently, now look at it now. We narrowed it by 3 other extra keywords. We made sure that it was drugs that we have, and then we made sure that it was drugs in Nigeria, and we made sure that it is drugs that are currently on sale, not just that they will be analyzing drugs also. These are like products, like malaria products that are currently on sale. Awesome. So now look at this. What I want you guys to look at is, can you guys see this thing I am highlighting? What's this? What's this thing I'm highlighting? Can you guys see it? Read it out if you can see it.
About 35,600 results.
Awesome. Now we have about 35,600 results for this particular thing that we are searching. So what will be that major thing that will make people click through your ad if the headline is not pulling? If the headline is not pulling properly, what would be that major thing that will get people into your ad? Medicine sellers and malaria treatments in sub, whatever. I don't think these are really drugs. And no, these are not drugs. Okay, let's use another this thing. Let me use prostate cancer. Awesome. Okay. Now we have drugs on GG. We have drugs. What am I having this one? We have okay. These are drugs. No, these are not drugs. This is a store that sells drugs. Yeah, this is not working. Okay. Here's what we want to do. Here's what we want to do instead. Now, let me go to Facebook ad library. In Facebook ad library, you basically find a list of adverts that people are running, and then you get inspiration from those adverts to know how. That is how I get some inspiration from my adverts anyway. So yeah. So yeah, Facebook ad library. Okay, all ads. Now let me say affiliate marketing. Let me just say shoes. Let me get affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing currently in Nigeria has become what everybody is selling. Okay, awesome. So now here are the ads that are being run to shoe sales currently in Nigeria. We have ads on this one. This one says assurance footwear, foot and wear, test leather, whatever. But this is a video, so I don't. Is it a video? Yeah, this is a video, so I don't know what exactly. Just the pictures. This is not a very good ad, but then since it is a video, at least it will give people like a picture of what they want, basically. But okay, let me just go on. But mostly if people will be clicking on your ad, it will be based on first the headline, how you're able to catch their attention, right? How you're able to catch their attention, because if you're not in this online space, it is not usually the best product, but the best known person. So how well are you able to like shout your name? How well are you able to like seek attention, basically? And your attention grabber is your headline. So what exactly is the headline? The headline is the most important part of the copy. It is what brings people into the copy. Now, moving on. Now, what are the things that a good headline must have? What are the things that a good headline must have? First off, your headline must have it must carry your CSI. Now, by CSI, what do I mean? Take note of that too. CSI, what is CSI? CSI basically means your central selling idea. Your central selling idea. Now, by that, what does that mean? By central selling idea, what does that mean? Now, in your whole sales process, I think I've mentioned this before, in your whole sales process and in your products, there are different things that people might, there are different reasons that people might want to buy your product, right? Some people might want to buy maybe that car because of, it is classy, it will make me look really, it will make people respect me, it will make
I mean, it will boost my status in the community. My wife can blah, blah, basically some people might buy it for prestige. Some people actually might buy it because of an actual need. Maybe they really want to be getting to work early and all of that stuff. Now, your central selling idea must be channeled towards what exactly is that major reason that your customer avatar that you must have designed. What exactly is that simple reason that your customer avatar really wants that product? What is the major idea behind that product that you are selling? What is the major idea beyond that product that you're selling? So that is what your central selling idea is. It must be clearly defined, not defined in your copy. It must be defined. You must have defined it properly. Now, a lot of people still call this CSI, they call it the big idea. What is the big idea behind your copy? Like, what is the major thing that your copy will be based on that would really get your customer or your audience engaged? Why should they really care? If your copy does not have a big idea, they won't care, because what people want to really be engaged in something that really spells out like the reason, like the big reason. They want to see like a big why. So if you don't have your big why yet, then your copy cannot be ready, because even you, when you finish writing that copy, if you're not spelled out on your big why, when you finish writing that copy, even you will be seeing that, oh, this copy is very shallow. That is basically it. So why exactly am I writing this copy? Now, why exactly should this customer care, right? So your big why should basically be what? Be channeled towards your audience's biggest problem. Your big why should be channeled to your audience's biggest problem. So I think I promised you guys a script. Now I'll be giving you guys like a copy script. I've prepared it already. I'll be giving you a copy script where you would basically break down everything that you'll be writing in your copy. There will be the part of where you'll be writing your big why. Then there will be the part where you'll be writing the headline ideas as generated from your big why, and so on and so on and so on, basically. So I'll be giving you guys a script. So moving on, the next thing that your headline needs to have is it needs to qualify and disqualify. What do I mean? Now, your product cannot be for everybody. Your product cannot be for everybody, right? A product that is for everybody is for nobody. A product that is for everybody is for nobody. So you want to really define who your product is for. Now, I think I like what Desire did sometime back when she wrote a particular ad on I think correction pen or so. Yeah, and she stated that her ad was specifically for administrators, students, and I think teachers. Then the way she appealed spelled it was where she said, and every other people using pen. This thing needs to be narrowed down, because what? Beyond your product, there are other things attached to your product. There's the price range of your product. Now imagine that particular correction pen now that really like that dries in an instant. Imagine that the cost price of that particular correction pen is maybe like 5,000 per one. 5,000 per one, because something that really does something like that really works very so well like that, then it will be costly. Then if you're saying, if your this thing is 5,000, then most of the times, much more likely than not, students might not really be able to afford it. If we would actually be frank with ourselves. So look at the one factor now. It has basically almost completely changed your audience base. Just that one factor of cost, or just even sometimes one factor of method of using your product can even change your customer base all together. But that is getting to like a higher level of sales. So let's get back. So your on this thing, your headline is to state what it, who it is for. Is your headline for sit-at-home moms? Is it for newly wedded couple? Is it for let's say students? Is it for core members? Is it for, so you need to state who exactly it is for. No, don't just randomize attention everyone. If you call everybody's attention, no, hardly will anybody give you attention. Okay, it's like you're walking on the road now, like a busy road, right? And somebody begins to shout, sister, sister, and obviously there are a lot of sisters there. Would you answer? Can somebody very quickly answer that? Would you be answering that? Like somebody, like you have like a very busy road and somebody begins to shout, sister, sister. Would you answer that? Awesome, because what they are not, he's not specifically calling anybody, he's just shouting sister. His sister is at home. The sister can be anybody. But if somebody calls your name like directly, desire, something like that is more personal, even though there might be like more than one desire around, right? But then at least you would actually look back to know whether it is you or not. Yeah, basically. So your copy needs to qualify and disqualify completely and simply state who exactly it is for. So that is part of your copy. No, and now another thing is you need to have, your copy needs to have a pull factor. Your copy needs to have a pull factor. What do I mean? Now, every headline, I mean, your headline needs to have a pull factor. Now, every headline is basically to get people's attention into what exactly they want to read. So to have a pull factor, will be coming down to that very soon. We'll be discussing the things that you can do to actually make your copy have a good pull factor. But before that, I want you to take note of this, that your audience, regardless of what you're doing, when your audience clicks on your ad, there's something that your audience is secretly asking in his mind. He's secretly asking, what is in it for me? What's in it for me? Once your headline is able to state what exactly is in it for your audience, and obviously you know what is in it for your audience through your customer research that I already showed you. You know what is in it for your audience through your customer research, because you know that what this is the major problem that your audience has. So you're able to tailor and expressly state what exactly is in it for them. But your headline must always state what is in it for them clearly. Clearly, you don't have to be vague here now, you need to be clear. Okay, so now moving on. The different things that could create a pull factor are, first one, you want to make sure that you ditch the buzz. You ditch the buzz. You don't want to be political. Now, here's what I mean. Now, a lot of times we have these. Now, I don't know if any of us followed the recent election process. Now, there were things that the APC primaries, basically, there were things that some candidates were saying. When somebody was telling us that when he was young, his mother and his father, they were poor, they were this one, then he was a local Port Harcourt boy. Right, guy, and normally, now, ordinarily, in the terms of this thing, in the terms of marketing, those things might work because what it is, stories that could generate empathy. But then in politics, Nigerians have gotten smarter than empathizing with you that okay, when I had no shoes, nobody cares about that anymore. That's the fact. When it comes to politics, to Nigerian politics, nobody cares about that anymore. So you want to ditch the buzz, because what? There are literally some things right now that you'll be saying about a product that are inconsequential, that people don't care. It won't even move people one bit. So those things are the things that you want to eliminate. Things like, maybe like as an affiliate marketer, you know that obviously, what are the things that you've been seeing on your social media? Now, you've been seeing make 100,000 in a day. make 1 million in a week. All those things, obviously, you're not going to sell now. Obviously, it won't sell. You won't even care about that. Because what? They've already become buzz. They've already become buzz. There are things that you consistently hear and then you almost do not care about anymore, right? So you want to ditch stuff like that. So now the second part is you want to use words that pull. Words like revealed, uncovered, mystery, secrets, and all of that. Now, those words are the things that will actually can grab your audience's attention and make them very, 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 very interested. Now, you can get a portfolio of those words from resources.selllikeCrazy.com. .co. I would also be sending you like a list of those words that you can take note of, that you can use, that will get your audience interested. But right now, I want us to take it. All right. So yeah, basically, I said we need to use words that pull, and I gave examples of words that pull. Yeah, I gave those examples already. Words like secret, words like little known, words like revealed, words like new, latest, things like that. Words that are really catchy like that, basically. Words that would make people, like, at least your audience, like a bit curious in a sense. Now, basically, yeah. Now, one thing we need to know is that every single kind of copy has an headline. Every copy has an headline. Now, take for example, there are different types of copies, right? Now, we have like landing pages, we have sales pages, we have home pages, we have opt-in pages, we have VSL letters, we have email letters, we have like so many types of copy like that, right? And every copy needs to have an headline, right? Every single copy needs to have an headline. Now, this is an example. This is currently like an example of a landing page. An example of a landing page now. Okay, now look at it load. Okay, now this is a landing page with an opt-in. Okay, this is sort of like an opt-in page anyway. Okay, so yeah, so join the millions learning to code with Code Academy for free. This one is not as pronounced. Okay, now let's look at this. Now, this is a landing page. A landing page is like the first page that you land on a website. When you get to a website, take for example, you say google.com or something.com. The first page that it brings you to is the landing page. Now, look at this, the VPN that just works. The VPN that just works. Now, looking at this particular headline, now you see that it simply states what exactly. It doesn't try to be crafty or anything so fancy. It simply states what exactly the offer is. Simply states what exactly this particular thing actually does. Simply, it doesn't go beat around the bush and all of that. So this is a simple headline. Now, this is another landing page. This is the landing page for Airbnb. Airbnb, like a real estate, whatever in the world. That's where you can basically get your space anywhere. So look at this: host your space, share your word. Host your space, share your word. Now, this is an headline because it basically literally says what they are all about. It's about hosting your space, right? Having your own listing, having your own space here, basically. So they say host your space, share your word. Then this is the subheadline: the art of hosting hosting is rooted in thoughtful design. Share your unique aesthetic. We've not gotten to subheadline yet, so we are still on headline. So literally, it simply states it. Now, sometimes a lot of people, I've heard a lot of people say, not every copy has an headline now. Okay, now look at this. This is something from J Training. This is like a coaching program. Ready to completely transform your body in the next 90 days. Who can tell me what kind of headline this is? What is this guy using here? What kind of headline is this? Very quickly. Any ideas? What was he using there? Ready to completely change your body, transform your body in the next 90 days. What did he use there?
Imagination. He didn't say.
He used imagination, one. What else did he use? He's trying to ask his audience a question. His audience will definitely, in their mind, answer yes or no. So,
The question method.
hmm?
Use the question method.
I didn't hear you. You're breaking.
He said, what did he use?
He's asking a question with this headline. So, what kind of this thing did he use now?
What kind of method did he use? He used the question method and the use of the word transform. I don't know how to put it. The use of the word.
Okay, awesome. So he used this thing, imagination method, because he gets their his audience to imagine what their life could be using his whatever is advertising here. Secondly, he's also using a question which is the part where I mentioned that you need to get your sometimes you get your audience engaged with a question that gets them thinking yes or no, making them engaged in the copy actively. Now look at this. Do you see that even running through his copy, do you see that most of his stuff, questions, question. Are you guys seeing this? So yeah, basically this guy has already mapped out, see questions again. This guy has already mapped out what exactly he wants to use, and then he's writing, as he's speaking, he's engaging his audience through their mind, basically. Now coming down to email, a lot of people say about emails don't have headline now. That is wrong. All emails have headline, at least all sensible emails have headline. Now, for emails, even though we don't call them headline, it needs to have an headline, even though we don't call them headline. Now, okay, look at this now. Are you making these mistakes? Now, this thing now, we don't call it an headline sometimes, but you can still call it an headline, but then it is called a subject line. The subject line of the email is that thing that you first see in an email that gets you to click into the email. So are you making this mistake with your novel? Now, this particular headline, now, do you notice that it is sparking curiosity? It is using curiosity. So, okay, when you read it, you're like, okay, what mistakes is he talking about? Maybe if you're a novel writer, once you see this, you'll be like, okay, what mistake is this guy talking about? Okay, let me see what he has to say. Then you click through. Basically, so all types of copies have headlines. Should I cancel them? No, not yet. All types of copies have headlines. Now, I'll be giving you guys a set of headlines that you can actually practice with, and then yeah, I'll give you headlines to actually practice with, because once you begin to exercise your mind and your hand and your listening with headlines, it gets to a point that you can literally just within a second just spark up an headline, and then somebody tells you a product, and then you're able to think of an headline that will work immediately. Now, there's this thing I had I had the temptation to do. I had the temptation of sharing with you guys something like a formula, like a copy formula, a headline formula. But I won't be doing that because what? Beyond the formula, I don't want you to see your copies as dependent on a formula, right? I don't want you to see them as dependent on the formula. I want you to be able to think far and wide, because once you start writing copies with formulas. Your mind will become conditioned to just formulas, and then you feel like without formulas you can actually write a copy. So I won't be giving you guys formulas, even though I feel tempted to do it. So are we clear on the headlines now? Are we clear on headlines? Any question on headlines before we move to sub headlines? Any question? Any question? Any question? Any question? Any question? Any question?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay, go on.
It's concerning the length of the headline. I don't know why it might not seem very. I don't know if you should be taking into notes the length of the headline, because I know some headlines seem like they are bulky, but in some of the
Can you
things
come
that
again?
come
Can you
out.
come again?
Okay, I said it is concerning the length of the headline.
The length. Okay.
Yes, of the headline.
Okay.
I'm putting some of these things into consideration after creating your customer avatar and the big why and all of that. It feel like, okay, sometimes you want to cram these things into your headline, and it is like the shortest way possible to put these things in your headline and not more than about 15 or 20 words. You get
Okay.
when
So okay, go on.
feel like, okay, for this headline to be truly captivating, you want to put these words into it, but at the same time, you don't want it. It's something I've actually had issues with. I don't know. Something I've had issues. I don't want it to
Okay.
seem. At the same
Yeah.
time, I don't want it to be less. So
Okay.
like,
Okay. Now I think I get what you mean. Like sometimes, like how long does your headline need to be? Is that correct?
somehow like that.
Somehow like that, meaning it's not like that.
It's not just about general length. It's not just about how long. I don't know. Maybe I don't, okay. It's also part of the question. Does there or is there a limit to how many words you can put in your headline, and then at the same time, how do you manage putting everything that your headline needs, all the words that your headline needs to be captivating enough, but manage the length at the same time? I guess that's what I'm trying to ask.
Okay. Awesome. Now, there are sometimes that you want to write a headline, and then you would have the temptation, you literally feel the need to say like so much in your headline, right? You feel the need to say like everything. Since you've done your research and all of that, you feel the need to say everything in your headline. But before you write an headline, right, you want to what? Take note of your big idea. One. Secondly, take note of the usefulness. What exactly is in it for your audience, right? What exactly is in it for your audience? One. Secondly, you want to take note of, have you stated how effective that particular headline is? Is it curious enough? Does it get your audience to be curious enough? Now, a lot of times, some people use, even I think I was watching a video recently of Russell Brunson, and then he came up with an headline, and then the headline was saying like way too much. Now, okay, all right, okay, let me use this example. Let's say I want to buy a house. Let's say I want to buy a house. The first part of this thing is, one of the reasons I'm buying the house is cheap. Another reason I'm buying the house is fine. Another reason I'm buying the house is maybe it is around a luxurious area, right? Another reason maybe that I'm buying the house is maybe the house is automated, meaning that everything in the house is controlled by a button. Now, as much as I will be feeling the need to say all of that, to cram all of that in my headline, it is not possible. What you need to do, that is why I say you need to find out what exactly is most pressing to your audience. What exactly is much more important, more than there might be other things that will get them interested. all of other features. But what exactly is that major thing that your audience is mostly concerned about? Maybe your audience is mostly concerned about affordability. Maybe your audience is mostly concerned about the luxury. Maybe your audience is mostly concerned about this thing. Let's say like the fact that the house is automated, right? Now, which is why I said what before you write an headline, you need to find out the big idea. The big idea, the word central selling point. Central selling point means that there's one center, like there's a major selling point. It doesn't mean that there can't be other selling points, but there has to be just one selling point. And how long does your headline need to be? Your headline needs to be so long that it passes your message, and so short that it does not make your sentence lose meaning. Take, for example, you have a headline like reduce your weight, look good, and look sexy for your husband within 10 days in anticipation for your wedding, or in the wait for your wedding. That is saying too much. What exactly is that person concerned about? Is that person concerned about their wedding? Then their wedding, is that the most pressing need? Then that wedding needs to come first. How long that? Okay, now take for example, okay, now this particular thing I just said, now let me move this up. Let me move this up a bit, right? Let me just quickly do like a live example. All right. Now, this person has a wedding in, let's say, 15 days. And then she's fat. She wants to reduce, let's say, 10 kgs, right? Without going for exercise. Right? And she wants to look good for her husband, look good for her husband, look good for her husband, for husband, and audience. Now, a lot of times, right, you might not immediately get your headline. Your headline, sometimes it might be up to like 3 sentences, right? That is still fine. Let your headline be 3 sentences. Then begin to narrow it down, begin to narrow it down, begin to narrow it down until it is as short as possible. Now, for a headline with all of these things, right? Be fit and trim for your, okay, in less than 10 days without exercises, right? Okay, now look at, let's say what's most important to your audience is their wedding. Their wedding. Okay, now look at this. Since the wedding part is not included, here's what I will do. Since quickly look at what I will do. Now, shed the ugly fat. And look stunning in your wedding dress in just 10 days. Okay, now this thing is not good enough, right? It can be better. Now, how can I make it better? Permit me to quickly do this. Okay, how can I make this better? Share the ugly fat, right? And look stunning in your wedding dress in just 10 days. Okay, now shed that fat and wow your audience in your wedding dress in just 4 days. This is okay, but okay, let's work with this. Now, look at this. There are other parts of, okay, she wants to please her husband. There are other parts of, she wants to do exercise. There are other parts of that. But then you want to take note of the fact that you are not just using, you're not just working on the selling ideas, you are working on the central selling idea, the most important selling idea. So out of all of this, right, what might be important to this person would be wedding, one, and okay, no exercise, two, and okay, since it is a wedding, she wants to look good for her husband, definitely. So you can still merge this with it. So if what is important to the person is not having to exercise and still looking all right for her wedding, then you can just use basically use these two to come up with your central selling idea, because that is what your central selling idea is basically talking about. Your headline doesn't need to carry everything that your central your selling every of your central set every of your selling idea. Your headline doesn't need to carry everything. Now, even your copy itself, I'm forgetting about headline. Even your copy, if your copy is saying too much, then it is getting useless already. If your copy is saying too much, it is getting useless already. Your copy is saying they will get shared in this thing in 10 days. He's saying that they will become this thing. They will become the what's the name now? They become the spectacle, the center of attraction in just 10 days. It is also saying that they will be fleet and they will be slim and trim to the extent that they become healthy. That is saying too much already. There's a particular reason. Now, whatever it is that you're selling, there's a particular reason that somebody is buying. There's a particular reason that somebody is buying. Now, take for example, when you guys came into this course, right? There is a reason that a lot of people, a lot of you were interested in this course. Some of you are interested because, okay, you're writing a book and then you want to know how to craft really nice headlines, all of that. Some of you are interested in the fact that, okay, you're just interested in the skills so that in the future you can actually be able to use it you can actually monetize it and really get people to pay you for the skill. Some of you are just interested in the skill so that you would have like a skill that you can say, okay, totally, I completely get. So differently, each person have their own points, like their own reasons that they are mostly buying your product, which is why before you write a headline or before you even write a copy to begin with, you need to have a customer avatar. What does your customer look like? One, but more importantly, what is your customer most concerned about? Then it's still fine if you have 3 sentences. Then you need to clip those 3 sentences into as short as possible. For this now, I want to show you a video. I will share my screen with you now so that you can see it. I want to show you a video very quickly. You can't see my screen right now, can you? Can you see my screen? You can't, have you? Okay. All right. So I want to include shares. New share. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I want to show you something very quickly. Hold on. Come on, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen? Yeah, can you see my screen? Okay, can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen now? Hello, can you see my screen?
Okay, yes, I can.
Okay, awesome. Now, this particular listing now is a this is this thing, a training by Russell Brunson. I don't know if you guys know him, but he's a very popular guy now. Now, I want to show. Okay, now look at this. Desire, are you with us here? I don't think she's here now. Now, look at this. This is a headline that Russell Brunson wrote. How we generate monthly recurring revenue on autopilot. Funnel expert Russell Brunson and Jim Edwards review their personal secret of building and launching a high converting membership website for selling products. Now, Russell Brunson is a funnel builder. When he asked Jim Edwards, Jim Edwards is one of the great copywriters that we have. When he asked Jim Edwards, how is this headline? Jim Edwards said it's horrible. Because what? The headline is saying like way too much. Do you get it? It is saying too much. How to generate recurring on autopilot. Let's say this one is, this is the headline. Now, this is a follow-up headline. Funnel expert Russell Brunson and Jim Edwards review their personal secrets for building, launching. This is too much. Do you get it? It's saying way too much. There's a way that it can be like shrinked and compressed into something very easy to read. Now, the whole idea of your headline is you want to make sure that it is not hard for your audience to read, and while your audience reads it, it is not hard for them to understand. Do you get it? It is not hard for them to understand. It is something very easy, something simple that it communicates your message, one, but so simple that what? So simple that your audience, that it is not hard for your audience to read through. If your audience cannot read your headline within just one breath, your audience is too long. If your audience cannot read your headline within just one breath, then your headline is too long. Now, there's a way that you can actually shorten this headline by saying two experts have come together to review their personal secrets on how to launch a high converting membership site. Simple, very simple, and you can even make that better self. Basically, so this thing doesn't need to be so long. I wish Desire was in here so that we can make sure that we actually answer that question. Your headline this thing doesn't need to be so long. It needs to be as long as possible, but then so short that it literally passes effectively the message of your copy. All right. So yeah, that's it. Okay, all right. So with that said, basically, like I think I've said enough about headlines, right? So what I want you to do is you want to go into that file I sent you guys, the link I sent you guys to the TDF courses, PDF course I wrote. So the one I sent you guys, you want to go in there and go to the headline section. There are like more tips I put in there for to actually help you with headlines, right? Then at the end of this video, I'll be sending you guys like a link to actually get like headlines, right, to work with that you can actually practice with and get good on as you go. Yeah, basically. So with that, I just quickly want to move quickly want to move over to sub headlines so that we won't have to waste too much time and we'll get this done as quickly as possible. I won't be taking too much time on sub headlines anyway. So sub headlines is basically sort of like an extension of an headline. Yes, it is an extension of an headline. It's just simply to explain the claims of your headline. Your headline makes a claim, right? And your sub-headline explains the claim. Now, let me open the sub-headline part here. You guys will have access to this. It is part of the course. So what the first purpose of your sub-headline is that what it restates the claims of the headline. It restates it. That means it states it again. It says what your headline is again. Now, take for example, look at this headline here. We have this headline here, right? Now, what's this thing? 7 legal ways to escape government tax. Basically, 7 legal ways to escape government tax. So your headline, your sub-headline wants to what? Wants to continue by what? Giving more information about what? About your sub-headline. Now, about your headline, basically. Now, here's something I said. I said, listen up. You're not a Nigerian politician whose words would be contradicting each other. Your sub-headline should never, ever negate your headline. Well, truly, they say we should never say never. But in my experience so far, a sub-headline that negates the claims of the headline is usually considered as a trick or a gimmick. Now, look at this headline. The headline states 7 legal ways to escape government tax. And then you now state in your sub-headline, you say there is really no legal way to waive off government tax. What are you doing? It doesn't restate your headline and then it's already negating it. So basically, this is wrong. Now, look at this. Now, look at a good way to do it. Now, look at this headline. Now, this is a good headline. Review 5 ways to get a real estate property at super cheap prices or dirt cheap prices. There's a way this can be made better. Dirt cheap prices, right? Now the sub-headline comes here to state and give more information. So what your sub-headline does is what it restates the claims of the headline, one, and secondly, it what brings more clarity to the content of your headline. Now, look at clarity here now. Look at what the headline is saying. Review 5 ways to get real estate property at super cheap prices. Now, what the sub-headline is saying is, my team of real estate brokers just uncovered ways Lagos agents rip off new landlords by charging them an extra of almost half of their original prices. Do you get it? So this thing basically states the methodology of the sub-headline states the methodology of the headline. It brings more clarity to the headline to make it make more sense, basically, right? So look at this. The essence of the headline is to get them the sub-headline is to get them sucked in even more, Now, if you go into this particular course now, I showed you a way that you can write a sub-headline and write like a very clear sub-headline and make it clearer and make it even much more clearer. I would advise that you go through that course. So basically, you go through this particular document now and check it out. So basically, when you write your sub headline, you want to make sure that your sub headline brings clarity. It states the same thing that your headline is saying, but then it brings clarity to your sub headline. It wants to emphasize or say more about your sub headline, basically. Now let me see if there's I can open up this thing here. I think I saw a website where hold on. Okay, is it this? Okay, yes, this. Okay. This isn't a solid line. Okay, exclusive. This is the headline. VPN exclusive offer. Get 3 months free. Try the. This isn't really a solid line. This is like an offer, basically. Okay. So which website should we check? Let's check Airbnb. Airbnb. Airbnb.com. Oh, okay. That's the landing page. Okay. Airbnb.com/host. All right. So this is that part of Airbnb. The first part of Airbnb is just basically just showing showing products directly. They're not really saying anything, and I'm guessing that is because most people already know what Airbnb does, and yeah, maybe that is it. So this is like another I think this is another part of Airbnb. I don't know what these guys do. So host your space, share your word. This is the headline. Now, this is the sub headline. It's basically going to, you find out that it's explaining this now. It said the art of hosting is rooted in thoughtful design. Share your unique aesthetics with guests and earn extra income on a schedule that works for you. This explains the headline some more. It gives you more clarity about the headline, because this headline actually, when I read through it, I didn't really understand it. So the sub-headline now basically makes me understand what the headline is talking about and when. But now there are some companies that their headline is mostly like sort of like should I call it like a caption now? Okay, take for example a company like Nike. I think their this thing is just do it, just do what. Now, imagining that Nike has like this thing. Let me see Nike websites. Okay. Okay. Nike website. Alrighty. Okay. Megan the Stallions Hoti Bootcamp. What the hell? Megan the Stallions Hoti Bootcamp. Now, unleash your inner strength with Meg in the NTC app and shop her look. Now, this particular thing now is an explanation of what this Megan whatever is talking about. But appropriately, right? Appropriately, all these guys, they are these things, so I don't really think they really care much about it. Okay. Let me use this website now. Xpartner. Let me check out Xpartner. Okay. Now you all look at Xpartner. Now look at the headline. We distribute high value digital product. That is what they do in one way. You see that the headline doesn't even need to be trendy, doesn't need to be buzzy and all of that. I think this is because it is the homepage anyway. If it is for an ad, obviously, it would need to be catchy, much more catchy than this. Now, look at this. Look at the subheadline. Let our networks of high-performing affiliates help you connect with millions of paying customers. Do you see that? This is basically already the headline. The subheadline is what? Pitching, is basically pitching what the headline is all about. So basically, there are different things that your subheadline could do, but then in all sense, it needs to be what? It needs to be giving more information and bringing clarity to your headline. It needs to bring clarity to your headline. Okay, so yeah, basically the golden rule I can give you about subheadline is do not make your subheadline negate your headline. Do not make your subheadline negate your headline. Your subheadline and your headline should be in sync. It should be creating harmony. It should be creating like a flow from your headline into your subheadline, because remember, your copy is like a journey, right? Your headlines get them sucked in, right? The next line, which is your subheadline, it needs to get them sucked in more, right? So your subheadline, since your headline really caught the attention, means that the idea of what you're talking about, really they are interested in what you're talking about, right? So your subheadline needs to say, okay, oh, now that you guys are interested in what I'm talking about, now here's the breakdown, like a more vivid image of what I'm talking about, right? So that is what your subheadline wants to do. Okay, so yes, that is that for now. I'll be sending in the document you guys will be using to practice your headline. I'll be giving like a bunch of headline swipes that you can exhaust. A bunch of headline swipes to practice headline. So I would expect that when I send this to you, any day that you're not writing a copy, you want to make sure that you practice at least with 50 headlines. Not just looking at the headlines. You want to look at the headlines, then get another product that you can use so that you can use that particular headline to merge it. So if you're reading a particular headline, you find a product of your own to sell with that particular headline. Then you practice that over and over again, and it gets to a time that you get pretty good, that you can literally spit out headline off the top of your head. So that is the goal. So with that said, I'll be sending in your I'll be sending in all of those stuff to you, and I think I've sent this particular course to you, so you want to use that and check it out. So see you guys